Greetings. Welcome to the garden. A garden of about 29 years in the making. Moved here about 29 years ago. And tomato garden. This is a vegetable garden, but we only focus on tomatoes and peppers and basil and oddball things once in a while, but no squash. I just can't deal with squash bugs. And if we have to use some kind of poison, I'd just as soon buy my squash at the farmer's market or whatever. So it's tomato season, as you can see. And we are eating tomatoes. One of the best times of year. I can always find a reason to call some time of year the best time of year. And here is Emily McKenzie crocosmia, and there is Ruella, native to the Great Plains, I believe. And there's Liatris spicata, I think. And globe thistle. Love this globe thistle, but I have to cut all these flower heads off of it when it goes to seed. Otherwise, I end up with more. I'll rip these out today. And there's other ones I need to rip out. Just keep ripping until I win. Cool crab apple, candied apple, crab apple. I'm making a little tunnel of it. Turn it into a shade garden eventually. I've overplanted. Oh my. I have just under 90 varieties of trees on this property, half acre. So now I cut a few down every once in a while to make room for the ones I like best. This area used to be grass. I put a lawn in here. We used to play badminton. Now I'm only fit enough just to walk around the yard and look. I dig a few holes too. This used to be a fire pit after we got rid of the grass where that Japanese white pine is. And then that became a mess. And so I filled that in and planted that tree. And then these are one of my favorites. Balloon flower. You can kind of see, I think, the balloon. I'm not sure what you're seeing because I can't see this little screen. We'll just take a little walk around here. Oh man, cutting a tree down over there. Gotta wonder why. This garden I redid a couple years ago. It's in its second year, of course, and still filling itself in. What they say is the first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, and hopefully the third year this will leap. It's got a ways to go. This is all homemade compost. I'm spreading out here, using it as a mulch, and as I dig around in there, it'll work itself in. Butterfly weed, love that thing. And this is actually kind of a strange bald cypress that I don't remember the varietal name. So pathways and gardens. This little big shrub is, we call it a desert plum. We thought it was a desert peach at first. but it kept growing and growing, and then the only couple of slight differences is the fruit on this is smooth like a plum, whereas the desert peach has a little fuzz on it like a peach. And the desert peach is generally shorter, at least out in the wild, and suckers everywhere. This has been pretty well behaved. And then down below it is a variegated yucca, and the creeper, the green evergreen there, it is evergreen, is Arctostaphylos coloradoensis. A great plant for ground cover. So you may notice a lot of plants in the pathway. Well, I guess it's hard enough to get things to grow where you want them to grow, so if they happen to volunteer in the pathway, that's okay by me. It just adds a little bit more color that I never thought about adding. Here's Vernonia, tall plant. We're entering the land of the giants. Here's Coreopsis tripteris. It's about 8 feet tall. Nice slight fragrance to those flowers. So, but you gotta take them down here in order to smell them. There's a hardy hibiscus over there in the background. We'll go look at that. And then this is another weeping crabapple. This is Louisa. I love this, one of my favorite trees. And I love to have it hang over the pathway, so you have to brush by the leaves to get through. So here's the big hardy hibiscus, just opened a couple days ago. To give you an idea, look at that. You can read my palm while you're at it. And then Joe Pye. So those are the giants. There's Joe Pye, hardy hibiscus, Coreopsis tripteris, and Vernonia back there. Someday this tree will be the biggest in the yard. That's a weeping beech, and it'll smother out many things. And this is Pinus bungiana, lacebark pine. Very interesting. I call it the camo pine. The pond. That in the pond is floating heart. If you have a pond and you want to plant something, don't plant that. We have to rake that out about once a month to get the light into the pond. There's a pink hardy hibiscus. And I used to have a spruce here, a dwarf spruce that was about 10 feet tall. Transplanted that down to Washoe. It's not doing very well, but I think it's survived. It had to put up with a lot of wind. It's very windy down there. Dry wind. So various parts in the garden are always under construction, or reconstruction rather. Here's the hosta garden. It's gone through hell this year, as you can see right there. Ouch. Ouch. This garden's a little more interesting in the spring when these guys are fresh. And moving on. Kind of an interesting Rudbeckia. It's called Henry Ellers. Got the fluted petals. There's a tree peony. It's a white with a purple center in the spring. The flowers are almost as big as that hibiscus. This pot here is left over from the nursery. Sometimes the bottoms break out of these pots in shipping, and so I bring them home and plant them in the ground, and makes for a nice accent. The white flower that you see here is Eriogonum jamesii, I believe. It's a great pollinator. There's always wasps and bees on it, except for right now. I guess it's too smoky. That's why the light is so nice. At least it looks nice from here. We'll see what happens in the camera. Here's the dwarf hosta garden. These fare a little bit better than the big ones, I guess, because there's not as much leaf mass to that's exposed. I don't know, my best guess right there. But this is a fun little garden. I'm always adding. As you can see, I have more room to add to it. I've trimmed out this Mugo. That euonymus there, that white plant, was growing up through it, up high into it, and I cut that down to the ground, and that's much nicer now. I'll do that from time to time, and made room for all these little hostas right there. And this is the first part of the hosta garden. It's growing right into over there. And yeah, I think that's about it. And that's the yard. Thanks for watching.